Kim Rosenlund, welcome to the Route 3 Pointer podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Kim is Chief Growth Officer at PRN. PRN operates 250 plus physical therapy clinics across the country.
Yeah.
Kim, your title, Chief Growth Officer. I think it's fair to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but for the majority of our careers, growth has really meant acquisitions, de novos.
Yeah, more
Today,
like the development side of
yeah,
of yeah.
but one of your primary focuses, maybe your most important primary focus right now, is the people to staff
Yes, retention.
those clinics. Yeah,
So in health, healthcare in general, it's, since COVID, we've seen, the burn rate skyrocket in healthcare. So nursing, physical therapy. Um, so retention's been really difficult for us, and
mhm,
people don't want to work for companies that they don't feel supported, they don't have the resources to do their job, they've got managers who are difficult to work for. So we've spent a lot of time in the last couple years trying to figure out that secret sauce on how to keep people here, and not only keep people here, but keep people motivated to want to, work hard, right? So I
yeah. You're a
think
service
that's,
industry, not just
yeah,
expertise, but like,
right. And I always say, like, with service, it's like our product is our people. We're not selling, a widget. It's the service, so if the people are happy, they're going to provide great treatment for our patients are happy, our referral sources are happy. So yeah, so it's been interesting. And I think too, you hear a lot about like generations and they're motivated differently. And I really think it's, the culture has really changed where money's important, but it's more value alignment is, I
yeah,
think, really the number one thing, right? Does this company's values align with mine? Does my leaders' values align with mine? And people are like, hey, if those values don't align, I'm out. I'll go find another place where they do align, and I'll take less money for it, right? I'll have a longer commute for it. So I think that's one thing that companies kind of underestimate, that you can't just
so,
throw more money at people,
but I mean, you still, as a business, there's got to be some sort of math. I need this PT to see this many patients per
for
day for
sure.
what we get reimbursed for us to be
And
able
that,
to be a profitable business and to be able to employ anybody. So
yes,
how do you balance that?
and that's been a that has led to a lot of tough conversations. It's
Yeah.
because productivity is number one, right? You have to be productive. You have to meet these KPIs. None of us have jobs, right?
Hmm.
But you're also trying to provide a service that's very important, right? You're trying to juggle the morality of, hey, these people are in pain. They're trying to get back to living their life in a way that, they can do the things that they love. So you can't just see as many patients as you possibly can to hit those productivity measures and then still provide good care, right? So that's the difficult conversation. And I think what our focus has been is give the people the resources they need to do their job. And
Hmm.
if we provide the training, we provide the incentive plans that make sense, you're rewarded for going above and beyond. You're rewarded for the outcomes of the care that you're providing. You're rewarded for being a good clinic director or leader and retaining your staff, right? So, and I think it's a work in progress. I'm not going to sit here and say that we've figured it out.
No,
I
nobody
think,
has.
yeah, I think it'll always be a work in progress. Because I think we're learning, right? We've made mistakes. We've thought, hey, we'll throw a bunch of money at people. Well, it's the incentive plan that's going to get people to work harder. And it's a piece of the puzzle, right? So I think It's just us being dedicated to the fact that it is complex.
Why don't you just let your PTs work from home?
Right?
That's
Which that's a strategy. I mean, there's companies, I mean, the model, the telehealth model,
Mhm.
your hinges, your swords, they call it kind of like the MSK model where um, you need PT, just click this link, download this app, and you'll do it, you can do it but via telehealth, or hey, I'll stay in my home and I can just have a PT come to me, right? But again, I personally feel, being in this industry for 25 years, people want the interaction. When you read reviews, it's the relationship that they built with their therapist, right? It's
Yeah.
the hands, it's the manual therapy, the touching, the hands-on, right? That really creates the great outcomes and the great patient experience. So I think, sure, yeah, you could work from home technically, but it's not probably going to be as rewarding and fulfilling as in person. So
Yeah. Why do you think healthcare seems to be hit so hard right now with retention or people just washing out of working in healthcare,
it's a great
especially,
question. And
was it?
I will tell you,
Awesome.
yeah, and it's a question I feel like people don't ask enough, right? Um, I think, and I was a clinician for a short period of time. I only worked clinically for 5 years, and like I said, I burnt out after 5 years. And the reason being is it's long hours. You're on your feet. You're dealing with people in an incredible amount of pain. It's expensive, right? The out-of-pocket expense, the insurance can be great or it can be terrible for people, right? It's a major time commitment. I think about it, it's almost like it's so inconvenient, right? So think about healthcare like servicing your car, right? Your car breaks down, you got to find a credible, mechanic. You got to work with the insurance company. You don't have a car, so it's inconvenient. It's super similar, right? And so I think when you're dealing with people that are inconvenienced and in pain
Right.
and it's expensive, you're hitting three major buckets that, you know, and now you're the answer. I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
It's a
And
lot.
that's,
Well, and especially
and
because the reason you went into it in the first place was to go home at the end of the day feeling like you helped people. So if you
100%.
take that away from somebody,
Yeah. And
what do
it's
you got?
it's often the emotional burnout that makes them leave, right? It's like you can only have so much empathy to give, right? And at some point, and then your personal life too, right? You have empathy and emotion, and there's, you got kids, you got aging parents, there's that part of your life too. So if you're giving so much at work, I know that's a lot. That's a lot, right? And then you layer on these productivity expectations, that's a lot, right? To navigate. So
And I'm curious to know, your company is a kind of a unique size for what you do. Like there's huge mega players in the industry with thousands of clinics, and then there's a whole lot with 20 or less, and you're like in this 250 zone.
yeah, right. We're kind of
How
in
do you
that
turn that into an
mid major.
advantage for recruiting? Because your people working for you aren't a number like they are for these huge organizations, but you probably have a lot more resources than the smaller organizations.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of right in the middle. And that's really a reason why I chose to work for PRN. I did come from a bigger organization that had over 900 locations, thousands of clinicians, and I really liked the PRN model that we are like a conglomerate of local brands. So, I think what's cool about physical therapy is there's this sense of community and that's one of my favorite things about it is, and that when I was a clinician, what I loved the most is you become this sort of like almost like a local bar, right? It's like you've got return patients, you got family and friends of patients, you really start to get to know the community, right? And when you're one massive brand, sometimes that can be difficult to do. You don't have as much autonomy in the community, right? There's more rigid sort of expectations for how you run your four walls. Um, so I really like our model that we maintain local brands and we really try to focus on that community feel. And I think that impacts retention too, right? You
Hmm.
don't feel like you're part of this like giant company. You're part of this local community brand, right? And then yeah, we offer more resources than say those smaller shops.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what's your 30-second pitch to a clinician?
To work for PRN.
Yeah.
I would say that's a good question. I think I would say we're employee first, right? I think what's unique about PT, and if you did research and you looked at all the big players, I don't want to give the secret away, but I'm going to, is
We're
because I
scooping it
think
here first
because
on the Root Three Pointer podcast.
right, it's yeah, secret revealed on what every PT company should do is and we talked about it earlier. I think that a lot of these companies, and when you read their mission statements, it's in the mission statement, they're all patient first. It's all we put patients first. We're here to provide our patients services. Like, we're here to provide the community services, which is great. Absolutely,
Of
right? That's
course.
important. But it starts with the employee, right? Which we said, you treat the employees right, they will provide the service that that patient needs and that community needs, right? So our philosophy at PRN is we're employee first. And I do think it's aspirational. We don't always get it right. We are still working towards that goal, right? And we're building our business and our infrastructure to support that aspirational goal of being employee first, right? So that would be my pitch is, hey, if you want to be taken care of, you want to work in an environment where you feel supported, you want to have the resources to do your job at the best level you can, you want to have opportunities to grow in several different areas, right? Not just operations or clinically. We're going to provide that experience for you. And that's our number one goal and why we exist as an organization. Um, so yeah, and then our hope is that if we do that for you, our patients and communities benefit.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And your
Don't
role
tell
as both a
anyone though.
clinician. No, nobody
Keep it a
watches this. Don't
secret.
worry. Hey, okay, this is where we shift gears to this is the Root Three Pointer quiz at the that I always do. I'm going to shift to your most important role in life, which is volleyball coach
Okay.
for your daughter's
Love it.
volleyball team. Okay, it's not just trivia. I actually just have some questions too. What's the rule people misunderstand the most about volleyball that drives you crazy when you hear people yell it from the
Oh, probably the double rule. So they just changed this rule. So when the setter back in the day when I played, I'm old,
back in the
but
day?
right when the setter sets, they used to not be able to double. So it meant that it had to be a clean
At the same
contact for
time.
both hands, right? Well, now you can double the ball. So it can hit one hand and then the other hand and not come off clean. So it can spin, it
You
can
can move it to a
zigzag.
different.
Right. So they just changed that rule last year. So you constantly are hearing parents scream, double, double. It's like, no, that's not the rule anymore. Like,
It's like the
so
balk in baseball. Every time a pitcher
yes.
takes their foot off the
Yeah.
rubber, it's
But here's the thing. You can't double the ball over the net. So
okay.
then a girl will double the ball or a young athlete will double the ball over the net and then they'll call it and then the parents lose their mind. Well, you didn't call it earlier. And it's like, well, that's not the rule. So,
What's what's the most misunderstood position on the court?
um, I would say middle blocker. So like
Okay. Tell me, sell me the middle blocker.
Yeah, so middle blocker is
Wait,
the
was that your
hardest.
position?
No, I was an
Okay.
outside hitter, which that's probably the easiest is probably, no, I'd say libero maybe might be easiest. Liberos would get mad at me for saying that, but outside hitting's the most fun. That's the most fun position. But middle blocker's the hardest, and it's kind of thankless. It's sort of like the offensive line of football.
Okay.
You know, you're kind of this unsung hero that has to work so hard, and it's not super,
You don't get
there's
sacks. You don't.
there's big plays that you can that are great, but there's a lot of little thankless plays that they're a part of that they don't kind of get credit for. So,
Okay.
and it's the one position nobody wants to be. So, yeah.
I like it.
I would
I'm
never
learning.
I would never be a middle.
All right. I don't think you're going to get this one right. What was the
Can't wait.
original name of the game of volleyball when it was invented?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Wasn't it invented in like the YMCA or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know it started in America, but I don't know. What was the original name?
It was supposed to be like this lighter version of it. Listen, I just looked on ChatGPT, but of soccer. But the original name of the game was Mintonette.
No
which
way.
Is like it's supposed to be a lighter version of badminton, which obviously
That makes
you
sense.
watch.
I mean, yeah, it's
Maybe that's what it was invented, but like watch. I don't think there's a sport that I can watch that displays more power than volleyball.
Right? Hey,
Like,
it's fastest growing sport out of men and
Yeah.
women. Yeah,
It's crazy.
pretty cool. I love it.
Okay, these are all just questions that you have to guess about my volleyball journey.
I can't
never
wait.
played-
I didn't know you played volleyball.
No, I didn't, but I have a volleyball journey. Uh, So I went to a very, very small school in central Illinois. We didn't have a football team because we didn't have enough kids. So what was our homecoming game?
Oh my goodness. Was it a volleyball match?
It was the girls' volleyball team.
No way.
Yeah.
Where in central Illinois are you from?
Somewhere close to Galesburg, Peoria, but
Okay.
not really close to either of them.
Okay.
Just a town of 128 people. It's
No. So
middle of
like
nowhere.
one stop sign in the town kind of deal?
There might be a stop sign. I don't think so.
No way.
Yeah, there's no
And now
commerce.
And then you found your way to one of the biggest cities in the United States. That's pretty
There's a
cool.
reason for that.
I love it. Maybe one of these days I still play in a rec league. I'm playing tonight. So you can come out and play in the rec league with me.
I'll come out and watch.
Thank you so much, Scott. This was great. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kim.